Hello, my name is Ryan Trujillo and welcome to my YouTube channel. So going into this new year, I want to start making videos talking about stuff related to being a musician. Practice, performance, the different kinds of study involved, cultural things, blah, 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 blah. And so with this first one, I'd like to talk about whether or not somebody should go to music school. I know this is it's a really, really hard decision for people to make. I have students who are getting to that age where they have to make those decisions, or their friends are making those decisions. It's hard, and there's no real right answer. There's costs involved, there's opportunity costs. But so I want to kind of go through really quickly my experience going to music school, and then backtrack and talk about maybe things I would have maybe changed or not, things I'm really happy about, or blah, blah, blah. So that maybe someone can view this and compare it with the other videos on the internet and at least feel a little bit more confident in their decision making in regards to this. So if you haven't seen my intro video, basically I grew up in Redding, California, in a more rural part of the state. But when I was in high school, I got a bass and God, I just stopped doing anything. I was only practicing. I'd stay up all night. I'd go to school on no sleep. I stopped playing video games. I was just learning riffs and scales, and my teacher was showing me some voicings and grooves and like jazz adjacent things. But basically my academics went to complete bleh in high school when I got a bass. And so I didn't really have the option to go to university. So I went to community college for almost 5-6 years. I'd have to sit down and look at my transcripts to figure it out. I didn't know how to read music in high school. I didn't know how to read a chord chart. I didn't know chord theory. I knew scales, but I didn't really know the nuts and bolts of how music theory worked in a song in a way that you kind of should if you're gonna go make money playing music. And so my community college was perfect. I had all these strange musical experiences, which I'd love to talk more about in other videos, but I was in choirs, I sang opera, I was in jazz band, I was in musical pits, I was in the orchestra. I had all these different experiences in situations where it was pretty safe for me to fail. I wasn't gonna lose my position in the ensemble because I screwed up or did something kind of funny. I was just there to learn. Shoot, I was playing in a youth symphony with kids half my age. But these experiences were invaluable, and they set me up to go to university prepared to take the beating there, okay? Not that community college didn't kick my ass. I had this wonderful music theory teacher that for 2 years was he would make people cry. He was a student of Nadia Boulanger, who I would love to do a video talking about her. I don't really know that much about her, but she's hugely influential, taught Quincy Jones. So basically community college was a huge helpful thing in my world. It got me to a point where I was ready to excel in a university setting, and I wasn't really paying a whole lot. I was able to live at home. My costs were super low, and that afforded me the freedom to keep working on my craft and become a better bass player and a more studied musician. So I finished at my community college and I applied to schools. I didn't apply to very many because, again, I was not an academic overachiever. I didn't think I was going to get into very many schools. And so being the underachiever I didn't really look into San Jose State's faculty very much beyond the guy I would be studying bass with. John Shiflett, the bass player at the time, rest in peace. Honestly, I didn't really think. I watched videos of him and I thought, well, he doesn't shred. He doesn't shred. It took me coming here and discovering oh my goodness, his musical mind is so immense. There's so much going on that's beyond shredding eighth notes at 340 beats per minute. There was so much more going on that made him so desirable to all of the musicians in the area. He was constantly working. But so I'm studying with John Shiflett, and the student body is just super fire at that point. It was pretty scary to me. I'm seeing so many young players that could really play to me. Coming from a small town, it was pretty shocking. There were people that were already freelancing, just doing it, being musicians, working in salsa bands, funk bands, rock bands, reggae bands, jazz combos, wedding bands, whatever. They were already out there doing it. Basically, all of this is to say that I was really, really fortunate showing up to this state school and having this perfect confluence of factors that just inspired me to work really, really hard and shed and live up to the example that these other students were setting. Much like community college, I'm attaining experience working with ensembles of a higher level. I did some like little things with the symphony orchestra. I was playing with the jazz big band. I was playing with the Latin band, the Latin jazz ensemble, which I'll definitely have videos talking about that. But so yeah, fast forward 2.5 years, whatever it was, and I had my degree. I took like a year and a half off. I was working at a guitar store, teaching and gigging, and did a little bit of traveling. It was cool. I was happy. I was doing what I liked. Then the COVID pandemic happened. That sucked. I decided at the beginning, like February, March of 2020, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna start applying to master's programs. And again, being an underachiever, I decided that San Jose State was really easy to apply to because they already had all of my transcripts and all of that. And so I went back to San Jose State and did a mostly virtual master's degree. My experience getting the master's degree was very, very different from the bachelor's degree. The student body wasn't quite as strong. A lot of people had recently graduated, and so you have incoming freshmen, and the culture was different. I had worked so hard through my bachelor's degree, kind of being totally outgunned by the people around me, and then I came back for my master's degree. I wasn't really outgunned anymore. Plus, there was the COVID pandemic with all of the regulations involved. It was much harder for us to get into the same room to rehearse. It was hard to get keys to do things in the building. But so I toughed it out. I got my master's degree. It doesn't really qualify me for very many jobs. I like to put it on my business cards. I like to put it on my website. I like to put it on my emails. If a college job opens up, I could apply for that. But as far as public school education goes, you have to get a teaching credential in California, and that's a whole different process. You got to study a lot of pedagogy, teaching techniques and stuff. And I just wanted more time to shed. I wanted to build XP, lots of XP, just to level up. That's what I wanted. So that's pretty much what I did in terms of music school. Now, I have to recognize that I had the privilege of having my parents to help me out through community college, and they helped me some financially when I first moved to San Jose. I'm a member of a Native American tribe that gave me scholarships, grants, and some other money things here and there. They made this possible, so I was able to get through pretty much 3 degrees without plummeting myself into student debt. And on top of that, I showed up to San Jose State that pretty much had like a conservatory level student body, which I can only really chalk up to luck. Now, so if you're thinking about going to a school, maybe there's a state school that has a strong student body, a strong program at one given moment. Maybe it makes more sense to pay to go to a really, really nice school, which has the hungriest people from all around the country, sometimes the world, right? All vying to go to this location to improve their craft and learn and be around other people who are just as hungry. I was just very, very scared of debt and saw it as a way of limiting my adult life if I went into the working world with, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, $100,000 of student debt. But all of that being said, maybe if when I finished high school, I did have a stronger skill set. Like I know young players today who play so much better than I did when I was 17, 18, 19. Some of it's pretty astounding. Maybe if I were in that position, I would have found myself like, well, maybe the community college is a little slow for me. Maybe the state school is a little slow for me. So I don't know. I have to consider that maybe there are young musicians out there who either feel they're at that level, or maybe they really are at that level. Maybe the big school is a thing for you. And I know people who went to state schools that play amazingly. And I know people who go to those other schools and don't. I don't know. Again, There's no clear answers when it comes to this. But that's it. I want to do like 10-minute talks about things like this. If you have any questions for me, drop them down in the comments. If there's something you would be interested in having me talk about. I want these videos to be kind of informal. I don't want to do lots of crazy editing or anything. I just want to talk about stuff that I know from my experiences, and hopefully connect with you guys out there on YouTube. If you made it this far, I am so grateful to you. You are the best. Have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you later.